Money's had an idea of making a ornament, or a Christmas tree ornament. Let's make something cool. Princess Peach tree ornament. Here are the items you may need. Tools you may need as well. This is a dowel rod. I'll use that for rolling. I'm going to use, just for cleanup purposes, this stuff, aka disinfecting wipes or sanitary wipes, whatever you call it. It's for cleaning the kitchen or whatever. You know, there's things that say 99% kills viruses, 90%. Just going to use that to clean with. Materials, the form materials will be two polymer clay and Model Magic by Crayola. Again, I have no kickback from this. It's just what I use. And baby oil, maybe to keep things from sticking. I'm not going to use much of this. This is going to be just for keeping this from sticking, if I need it at all. If you want it to stick to something, this air dry clay, you would want to use water. If you want it not to stick to something, you want to use baby oil or something of the sort. Olive oil will probably work as well. And tools. I'm using scissors. You can use a regular scissors. It's just a squeeze style. Would like a better way of saying it. And I'm just going to open the package. I'm going to use yellow air dry clay. Go. It's very soft, very lightweight, very airy. It's air dry clay. You might think, or I had the impression that you might not be able to get sculpt many details in this material, but I think you'd be pleasantly surprised how much details you can put into this. But we're going to make something relatively simple today. It's going to be Princess Peach's crown. And these will be the gems. These are polymer clay, and you're going to bake those per instructions on the package. These will just be the gems. There are 4 of those, 4 gems. You want some kind of knife. You may see me using this, which is a knife that came with a pack of polymer clay. But I'll also use my handy dandy Swiss Army knife. I think that's the name brand. But again, no kickback there either. Alright, I may just be using this most of the time, but a plain old knife. You don't need anything real sharp, this is clay after all. It doesn't take much to cut it, it doesn't take much to put impressions into it. Okay, so I may begin with the gems. I'm going to be eyeing a lot of this, no real measurement here. How I find to cut things evenly, I'm going to need 2 gems for the blue and 2 gems for the red. And again, this may not be exactly like Princess Peach's crown. I'm just going to get that off of there. A little bit of red was mixed in there. Make sure both ends are flat. This allows me to eye right down the middle. And already it's picking up debris. If I did clean this, polymer clay is notorious for picking up debris. I'll just have to scrape that off. So that scraping's away. But making it in a cylinder like this allows me to eye it to evenly divide it in half. So that both halves are pretty much the same size. And the same thing for the red. Alright, that'll be our gems. We'll not elaborate on those any much further at this point. Just going to put those aside. I'm just putting those further away on the mat. Now let's go ahead and clean that up a bit. You can see that there's still stuff there from previous adventures that just would not come up. Polymer clay. This is not. This is air dry clay. Let's go ahead and roll that baby. I think I should probably clean the dowel rod too. It gives me the heebie-jeebies to clean wood. Anyway, it's got a texture to it. Cleaning wood. And as you can tell, it's kind of sticky, but not too bad. So I'm going to probably go with it like it is. I'm not going to use the see how well it sticks. See, it's not sticking to that mat either, so I'm not going to use the baby oil. I like it to be pretty thick. I think it's going to be cute if it had a little thickness to it. The crown. Now the crown has 4 points, but you got to make 5, and I'll explain why. You've got to make 5 points. I'm not adding any water to this because it comes just right out of the package. The more water you add to this, the more sticky it becomes. I'm taking off the ends and pull away from it because even if you cut the air dry clay, it'll start going back to mending real quick. So you want to go ahead and pull it away from touching the other. And I'm going to gently put this down here and use it as a straight edge. I like to use a rocking motion just to prevent the drag effect. And I'm trying to make sure that this is parallel to the side that I just cut. I think rocking it does help prevent dragging. Now I got this end a little crooked. Basically making a rectangle, a nice long rectangle. I'm trying to make those ends parallel to one another, not crooked. Okay, we'll be using this later, so don't throw it away. Let's peel that baby off of there. Princess Peach crown. I think I'm just going to start on one end. I might end up having to cut off some more. But however long this is going to determine how big it is, how big a diameter it is. So you want it kind of long. I'm going to start from this end, and you're going to cut half of a point. And I'm just going to kind of eye it, and I'm bringing it down to about 1/3 of the way into the down. And I'm going to be kind of wide with it. I guess that's like a square. If you were to continue this way, you would have a full square. So you're cutting half of a square out. 90 degrees, in other words. You're cutting a 90-degree angle. Let's do another 90-degree angle. It's not going to be perfectly 90 degrees. We're eyeing it after all. There we go. 90-degree angle, approximately. Pull it away before it marries back into the rest of the material. 90-degree angle. Trying to keep these points the same size. This one will marry to the opposite end, so it needs to be small. And 90 degrees, pull it away. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We need 5. Or in effect, well, you need 5 points. 2 of the points will be halves, which will marry together to become the 4th point of the crown. Alright. Crowns. Why do crowns have points? I think somebody once said it had to do with the way gods and statues were made back in the day. The radials of the sun, whatever, became the points. I don't know. That's just hypothetical. Or something I thought I heard. Alright, so now there's the crown. And we can bring it over. Now it's just the right tackiness, I think, to stick to itself. Be careful to make sure that the ends line up. And we're going to have a little bit of seam there, but that's okay. And I think it's probably cute too to make sure they kind of splay out a little bit from the center. And you see that the 5 became 4. Princess Peach's crown. Now what I haven't shown you, what you might like to do to make this a tree ornament, is to get I don't have one with me at the moment, but an eye, and stick it in one of these points. And it will hang from the tree at an angle, like that, which would be cute. You could probably be elaborate with it and put an eye loop on each one of these points, but I don't think that would look good. I think it would be cute if you just had it hanging from one point. Okay, now looking at the picture of Princess Peach's crown, there is a seam. What I did previously was make a band at the bottom, but I think we'll just go ahead and make a seam. This is going to be tricky because you want it parallel to the bottom, and it's probably about halfway from the point, or the valley here, and these are the point. to the very edge. Halfway right there. And the tricky thing about it is trying to keep it parallel to the bottom. By that I mean going the same direction. Parallel line, two parallel lines are lines that will never meet because they're going the same direction. And probably I should also say that another tricky part is getting them to end up in the same spot. There we go. I think I did a good job of that actually. And that takes practice, I think. Princess Peach crown, not done yet. There's something else we'll watch too. That's right here might be enough. We need 4 little oval shapes. I don't need the roller anymore, the dowel rod. Put that away. I probably don't need a great deal of this anyway. Probably just a little bit more than the gems themselves. Just a hair more. And they're going to be kind of ovalish. In other words, they're not perfect circles, they're kind of more like egg shapes. But the bottom will look like the top, or vice versa. Now again, I'm eyeing this, or filling it with my fingers, and it looks to me to be not the same size. This is the air dry clay, this yellow stuff. All the yellow here is air dry clay. It's a different material than the polymer clay. Now we need 4 of these. So I'm making 4 of them. Sounds logical, right? Well, don't let them touch. They will stick. That's what that's what air dry clay does. It sticks to itself. So don't let it touch. I'm trying to get these into to be the same volume, basically. I think I need to pick a bit off for that one. One more. Princess Peach crown. Of course, Princess Peach is a cartoon character from a video game. Mario games. Oh no, they touch. Don't have to panic too badly, as if they touch for the first few seconds, you can get out of the part pretty well. Split seconds. So these are approximately the same volume. And I'm eyeing it rather than measuring. Because it takes time to measure and stuff. I want these to be oval rather than circles. So let me kind of make them a little oblong. Whoa, don't touch. Do that by maybe kind of rolling it a little bit and then pressing it. Rolly, rolly, rolly. Pressing it. That was way too rolly. Too oblong. Needs to be a little more circular. Slightly oblong. And if it doesn't look the same size, squish it a little bit further. A little bit more to make it really closer to the same size as the other. There's a little fudging or finagling you can do to make things work when they don't want to. I'm not a contractor, but I have done some carpentry work. Rarely, hardly ever, but I experienced that corners, 90-degree angles are not natural to, or they're unnatural to carpentry, I think. You have to make them work. Okay, now this is air dry clay, so it should stick to itself pretty well without glue. Let's go ahead and put it right in the middle of both lines and all the way around underneath the point. This is what we're doing here. These babies go underneath the points, these oval shapes, these gem insets, I guess you would call them. Now it's going to be quite a while before these things dry. I put it in the wrong spot. There we go. I want it to be right in the middle of that spike. There we go. Princess Peach. Gems. Let's go and work with the gems now. I want those to be oval also. Yeah, slightly circular and a little bit of ovalness to it. Squish it out. Now these are harder than the soft air dry clay. Just slightly so. A little denser. A little heavier. Dense molecular structure. There we go. And I'm going to shape it into to where the backside is flat, basically. And this side is round. Uh-oh. Three-dimensional. Not flat. In other words, these look like they might be a little too big. And I'm also trying to keep them the same size. Trying to make them oval. Trying to make them, well, try to make them circular and then make them oval. Squish. Some versions of the crown I have seen online, it's pink and blue. I've got red and blue here. Red and blue. Red and blue, red and blue. Okay. Now I'm going to work with the flattening of the side, making a facet on the other side. See, flat. But I want it to be round on this side. And I don't want it to be too, angular. I want it to be smooth. Smooth the gems. Oops. Did I just nail that one? I did. I just nailed that one. Alright. Repair in progress. Often you heard me say I nailed it. It's not a good thing. Usually when someone says you nailed it, it means you got it. You did it right on the money, right on the mark, right on the head. But when I nail it with clay, it's not a good thing. Now, these are not dry yet, or not cured yet, but because they're denser, I think this may work. I'm just going to put a little slight pressure on it. There you go. Now, the next one should not be red. You want that to be the opposite. Red on the opposite end. Now, because it is denser, I'm able to squish it in, but gently though. And to keep them there, because they are two different types of clay, you may actually want to glue them once everything starts drying. And once you bake these babies, you probably really would want to bake those rather than do what I'm doing. You may want to go ahead and bake these first, the polymer clay, and then squish them in here, because then they'll really be solid. But because they're denser, this kind of works. And you may want to use glue to glue these on. Get in there. There you go. And there you go. Princess Peach crown. Christmas tree ornament. Ornament. You might want to put an eye in there to hang it. You will also most definitely need to glue that eye in there after this material is all cured and dried. By cured it for the polymer clay, I mean cook it by package instructions. And let the polymer clay, the yellow part, not polymer clay, air dry clay, the yellow part, let that air dry overnight would be good. You will find this probably going to take days before it really gets solid. Very good long time before it becomes a solid material. It'll always be lightweight though, and I don't think you'll find it shrinking much at all. So it's a pretty fun medium to work with. And there you go, Princess Peach crown. Hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you had fun making it. Thanks for watching.